We continue now at the top of Daf Kuf Samach Aleph Amud Aleph and Meseches Bava Basra. This is Bava Basra Daf 161a. And the previous summit, the Gemara brought the opinion of Rav Huna that when it comes to a star that is makusher, the way the Edom sign is they sign on the back between the folds. And the Gemara asked, if that's the case, why aren't we concerned that somebody will add something to the end of the document, essentially forging the document after the Edom already signed? And so the Gemara answered to that at the end of the document on the bottom, they always write Sharir V'Kayim, that it's confirmed, and therefore since they write Sharir V'Kayim, that it's confirmed and established, there's nothing to be concerned about in terms of adding words. You cannot add words after the words Sharir V'Kayim. But the Gemara asked, we should be concerned that maybe the words Sharir V'Kayim were erased, and then some words were added, and then Sharir V'Kayim was placed at the end. And the Gemara now says that's not a problem, because Rabbi Yochanan says, Mechak Pasal, any kind of erasure is actually is problematic. It disqualifies the star. The only way you can add something to the star is to add a text. So you say, on line such and such, it should be changed from this to that, but you can't erase anything. That itself creates a disqualification, and that's why we're not concerned that the Sharir V'Kayim was erased and something was added, and then there was another Sharir V'Kayim that was written. Even by a certified star, if you have that kind of erasure, that is going to be a problem. And the Gemara continues, V'lo amru mechak pasal, we only say that when you erase, it's disqualified. Ela b'makom Sharir V'Kayim, only if the area that was erased was the area where one would normally write Sharir V'Kayim. Uchashir Sharir V'Kayim, and the amount that was erased is the amount that the words Sharir V'Kayim can fit into, and that's the whole idea, that there's a concern you might erase those words. So any erasure which looks like those words Sharir V'Kayim might have been erased, that is a problem. And the Gemara continues, Ula Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba D'Amar, and according to Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, that says, Achori haksav ucheneged haksav, that the way the witnesses sign on a shtar mekosher is they sign behind the text, and they sign corresponding to the entire text mi bachutz, again from the outside, on the back of the document, that's where they sign. But leichush, we should be concerned. Dilmo kasav mi gavoy maidaboy, maybe he'll write whatever he wants on the inside, on the document itself. He'll add words. Umachsim sahadi yiseri me'avroi, and then he'll sign extra witnesses on the outside. V'yomer, and he'll say, Anol rabos be'edim hu da'avdi, I did that because I wanted to increase the amount of witnesses. I wanted more witnesses than was necessary. And the Rashbam explains, Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba D'Amar achori haksav keneged kol haksav mi bachutz, again according to Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, who says they sign on the back of the document corresponding to all of the text that's on the document. Chosmin ha'edim, that's where the witnesses sign. U'memalim ha'mokom chasimas ha'edim ad sof hashtar, and the signatures of the witnesses that takes up space until the end of the document, and therefore v'lo tzarich Sharir V'Kayim, therefore according to Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba, you don't need it to say Sharir V'Kayim at the end. You don't need it to say that it's confirmed and established, because we can tell by the signature of the witnesses where the end of the document should be. So nechosh dil mazayev v'chosav mai deboy mi gavoy b'sof hashtar, we should be concerned that he'll forge and write whatever he wants on the inside, meaning on the text itself. At the end of the document, he'll add words. V'afal pisha ein od edim kenegdo mi bachutz, and even though you don't have witnesses over there on the other side of the document signed, but still it won't be a problem. It won't be a problem because v'yomer, because he'll say, Lo hinachdi zeh mi bachutz achorei zu hashita el harbos edim, I left a little space because I wanted more witnesses. Gam bezu hashita kenegdo me'achorei, I wanted to add witnesses more than I needed. That's why there's a little blank space. V'lo nizdamli, I just couldn't find the other witnesses. Kain perush Rabbeinu Chananel, that's Rabbeinu Chananel's explanation of this line of the Gemara. Uvesvarim shalano, and the Rashbam says, in our svarim, kasav umapish be'edim me'avroi, we have the line of umapish be'edim me'avroi, that he'll have more witnesses on the outside. Kilomer, what that means to say is neged osa hashita sheyosef mi bifnim, meaning corresponding, opposite that line that he added on the text itself on the inside. Yachsom aleh edim kenegdo mi bachutz, he'll sign more witnesses on the opposite side, on the back of the document. Kedei lamalos kol hashtar edim, that way he'll fill the entire document with witnesses on that side. L'kayim kol hakosav b'sochu mitzad sheni kenegdo, that way everything that's written on the other side will therefore be confirmed and will therefore be considered valid. V'yomer, he'll say, Kedei l'rabos edim hu da'avdi, that I did this because I just wanted more edim than necessary. Afal pisha mekusher dayo begimel edim, even though a shtar mekusher, it's enough to have 3 witnesses, like we said earlier. Anines kavanti lefarsim hadavar, I wanted to make this matter public. V'herbesi edim harbe, I wanted to have a lot of edim. Uchahadetanan, like we learned in the Mishnah, get kereach hakol mashlim and olav ezo get kereach kol sheksharav meruba me'edav. What's considered a get kereach, which is a problem? That's if you have more folds than witnesses. Aval me'edav meruba mikshar. But if you, let's say, have more witnesses than folds, shapir dummy, that's perfectly good. And so that's what he'll do. He'll add witnesses, and he'll be able to forge to add on to the document. And the Gemara continues, Amar Leir, Rav Chisda said back to him, he said back to Rami Bar Chama, Mi Savrit, do you think that according to Rav Yirmiyah Bar Abba, that Eidim Kesidron Chasimi, that the Eidim that they sign in order, that's not true. Rather, Eidim Imato Lemala Chasimi, the Eidim sign from the bottom of the document to the top. The point over here is they sign on the back of the document perpendicular to the writing on the document, and they start from the bottom. And if you do it that way, it's impossible to add on any lines because we know that the Eidim begin their signature at the very bottom. But the Gemara continues, V'leichosh dilma mesarmiya reyusei b'shita achrona. We should be concerned that maybe the person holding the star, there's something detrimental in the last line of the star. V'gai is le l'shita achrona, and then what he'll do is he'll cut off that last line. V'gai is le l'ruvein bahadei, and again, if the way that Ruvein signs, Ruvein is one of the Eidim, if the way that he signs is perpendicular and he starts from the bottom, so he'll cut off the word Ruvein, he'll cut off that part of the name. Umiskasher ben Yaakov Eid, and let's say it was Ruvein ben Yaakov Eid, it's still kosher to write ben Yaakov Eid, so there's still this concern of this kind of a forgery. As the Gemara says, the Tanan, as we learned in the Mishnah, Benish Ploni Eid, kosher, a person can write, the son of so-and-so is a witness, and that's considered kosher. And so the Gemara answers to that, Dechsiv Ruvein ben bechad dara. What's happening is he writes Ruvein ben on one line, so to speak, V'Yaakov Eid ilove, and then he writes Yaakov Eid above it, and therefore if you're going to cut it off, you won't be able to just cut off the word Ruvein and have it say ben Yaakov Eid. And the Rashbam explains, Umeshani, the Gemara answers, the Chasabe Ruvein ben bechad dara, the words Ruvein ben are all written on one line. Beshura achas, they take up one row. V'Gai is le l'Ruvein, Gai is le nami leben bahadei. If he's going to cut off the word Ruvein, the word ben is going to be cut off as well. V'lo nishar bilti Yaakov levado. All that's going to be there is the Yaakov. That's not going to be enough for a signature. But the Gemara continues and still asks, V'leichush, we should be concerned, Dilma Gai is le l'Ruvein ben. Maybe again he's going to cut off that last line which has the words Ruvein ben. Umiskasher b'Yaakov Eid, and really Yaakov Eid will be good enough. Tetanan, because we learned in the Mishnah, Ish Ploni Eid kosher. If a person writes so-and-so who's a witness, that is kosher. And the Gemara says to that, the Loksiv Eid, we can answer that he just doesn't write, according to Rav Yirmiyah Bar Abba, the word Eid is not written, and therefore all that's going to be there is Yaakov. That certainly would not be a good signature. V'bay say more if you want, I could say Liolam dechasav Eid, really he does write the word Eid, but the Yadinan ba dehachasimus yada, but we know that this is not the signature, we know whose signature it is, we know it's not the signature of Yaakov, and therefore that is not a concern, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Kuf Samech Aleph Amud Beis.